Okay, hello everyone. Good morning to those in the US and South America. Good afternoon to those in Europe, and good evening or late evening to those in Asia. Um, we are going to get started. Um, so maybe you can start sharing the slide, please. So welcome to our webinar, ATS International Health Committee webinar, Uniting the Society to Advance Women in Thoracic Medicine, Insights from the Women's Leader, the WINGS launch webinar. My name is Kaharu Sumino from Washington University in St. Louis, Missouri in the US, and I'll be chairing the session. And then I'm gonna have Samia also introduce herself to the audience who are my co-chair.
Yes. Hi, good morning or good afternoon, good evening. I am Samia Nasser. I'm from University of Michigan, professor of pediatrics, and I'm very honored and thrilled to be working with Kahel on these on the wings or the women in medicine leadership. So it's really very important and very exciting to keep going with it. We started last year in May in the ATS with a session, and now we're doing the webinar, and then we'll be again in next ATS in May in Orlando. So watch for us with the sessions from the IPC or the International Participant Center. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start from the intro here about wings. Next slide, please. Most of you have not heard about WINGS. I'm just going to give a couple intro about WINGS. WINGS stand for Women's International Network in Global Thoracic Science. We actually love the name and the acronym because it really represents our mission and what we try to do. This was voted by the stakeholders. This is a new initiative hosted by the ATS in collaboration with the International Health Committee. And the mission is stated below, which is that the wing is dedicated to advancing women leaders in pulmonary and thoracic medicine worldwide through cross-cultural mentorship, leadership development, and advocacy. So we have three tiers for that, which I'm going to mention a little bit in my next slide. We aim to build an inclusive global community that empowers women to overcome barriers, achieve leadership position, and champion diversity in medicine across all regions. Next slide, please. It's going to report the progress, like Samia just mentioned. We have been working since last year to start this initiative. We had a brainstorming session at ATS 2025 and engaged global leaders and ATS members to get input on how this initiative would look like. And as I mentioned, for our mission, we have three tiers within the wings that I'm listing some of the plans that we have for those three tiers that we have with the mission. So for the leadership, we plan to have a cross society collaboration to share the roadmap for leadership, which is we actually doing it today in this webinar. And then we also have more webinars to come showcasing experiences of accomplished women's leaders globally. For the mentorship and networking, we plan to establish a structured cross-society regional mentorship program and a platform that connects women across regions and career stages. So this is in the planning stage and it's upcoming. For the advocacy, we are planning to develop a multi-society consensus statement on advancing women's leadership in thoracic science. And we have our planning group that we've been working together for almost a year at this point. So me and Samia and Yuka, Alex, Michelle, and ATS liaison is Christina. Next slide, please. This is a fun picture from that ATS 2025 with including all the global women leaders in thoracic science, and then we really had fun engaging, meeting, and networking. And as was mentioned earlier, the next meeting we already planned in 2026 in Orlando, Fly High Together Wings. That's going to happen on the same day of the Women's Forum on Monday 18th from 4 to 5 at the International Participant Center. So we look forward to see you there as well. Next slide. So our session, we're really excited to have 5 speakers across the globe from 5 different societies that is going to share with us on the society's effort to engage women in their societies. And then the goal is to bring together these women leaders from these 5 societies to share the perspective on women's leadership, regional challenges, and then we are going to explore opportunities for cross society collaboration. So with that, we have packed agenda with 5 speakers. We are going to hold off on answering question until the end, but be free to put the Q&A in the Q&A box. We will be watching that, but we will have we should have time for panel discussion at the end to discuss our future and for women in thoracic science. So we'll be doing a panel discussion after all those 5 presentation is completed. Okay, so we're gonna move on to start. Samia, do you want to do the introduction here? Oh, maybe you're muted. Or should I?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah. I'll be, it's my honor to introduce Aldiko Horvath, the General Secretary of the ERS. And she is the head of the Department of Pulmonary and director of the Pulmonary Clinic at the University of Debrecen Faculty of Medicine in Hungary. Where she also served as a professor of medicine. She is an experienced pulmonologist and researcher with extensive publications in respiratory disease, including asthma and COPD. Dr. Harvath is currently serve as the Secretary General of the European Respiratory Society. That's from 2025 to 2028. She is the first Hungarian to hold this leadership role in the organization. Her work spans clinical care research, international collaboration to advance lung health and professional education. So, Dr. Harvath, if you can start.
Thank you very much, Sanya. A very warm welcome to all of you. And thank you very much for this detailed introduction, which we haven't put in there. I'm a mother of 4. So it comes together, I think, when it comes to profession and lifetime job as well. So we were very happy for this WINGS seminar. And I would like to ask for the next slide. I just briefly would like to introduce you to the European Respiratory Society. Some of you know it very well that we are European based. However, we have a global membership, which is above 36,000 members. Most of them, 93% of them, are members through their regional or national societies. Some of you are very well know the structure. We are doing quite well. When you look at the membership, it's kind of half and half, 51% males and 49 females. Next one, please. If you look at the young ones, the early career members, that they consist 33%, so 1/3 of our membership. And there is a predominance of females already. So we see that in Europe, at least very well, that there are more females going to medical studies and becoming doctors, and there is more and more coming to pulmonology. Next one, please. If you look at our 14 assemblies, you can play with your mind. What do you assume? What is the name of the assembly? Very shortly, assembly 1 is a clinical one. You see it is a fair balance there. But if you go down like assembly 7, you might guess what it is. It's pediatric there. And there is assembly 9 when is 67% of females are present. This is allied healthcare professionals. And on the other end, you see assembly 8 and 14. The first is thoracic oncology, and the 14th one, this is the one on technologies, bronchoscopy, imaging, and so on. You have a predominance of males. So what we allowed to do, everybody choose what they want to be, but this is represented somehow the bit of gender biased taste, what I'm doing in my profession and how I join to the assembly. In the society, we do a lot to balance this out. Next one, please. And this gender balance, it's really started probably from getting the members there. Next one, you can come to the election process. It took us, we are a young society compared to the ATS. It was founded in 2000. So if you look at the pictures of the presidents from the first 10 years, you find that these are very, very well-known figures, but these people were all men after each other. So then it started how it could be managed to bring a more equal portfolio when it comes to the presidents. So there was a strong focus on women representation. There was a lot of encouragement for women candidates, and the nomination committee now has to bring up one man and one woman when it comes to the short list, and at least 2 people for the president election. And the next one, please. So this very strong effort really resulted, you could say that's probably too good for the women, but in the last 3 years, the upcoming presidents, and the one is coming after the 2 after the recent ones, how to say that the vice president at the moment, they are all females. In the row after Joanna, who is the current one, we have a man to become a president, but then again a woman. And if you look at the next slide, you can see that it's not only the presidents, but also, well, we as Secretary Generals, you probably know Judith very well from the recent years. Some of us been General Secretary for the society, and we have in the historical first treasurer being a woman in this current serving period. This is Emer Kelly from Ireland. And Anita Simmons, again, is a president from the 2020. So we would say that the post-pandemic present of the society is that there is a dominance of female leaders in the society, which never been. So now we have to become cautious to give enough chance with this one-to-one for the men. Next one, please. It's not only on the elections and only on the leadership level. We make sure, or try to make sure, that in our program, it's a fair balance between females and males, and we try to do this balance for other diversity issues as well. So if you look very quickly through, we are not exactly on the line. However, when it comes to speakers, chairs, and overall numbers, at the chair level, we can do it very well. We select the committee organizing the conference, selects the chairs, so it's pretty good, around 50%. However, when it comes to speakers, then females are less than 50 yet, despite the fact that in certain parts, there are more females in the given assembly than men. So there is a way to go there. Next one, please. This is what I already said. It's quite balanced. However, sometimes people can't come, and the last changes might shift this 50 to 50, but this is the direction what we are heading. Next one. These are the other courses, this 50-50, what I showed, not only the major conference, but this effort we put in when we choose people for scientific award. And what you see here, the blue is the male and the red is the female on the columns. One is the historical one, 10 years ago, 15 to 21. and the other from 22 to 25. In between, that was when the society decided that it will implement a new strategy. And in this open application process for scientific awards, there is a mandate to nominate women by the ERS assemblies if they do not put themselves forward, which is the vast majority what happens of the cases. Then people has to nominate females as well. And there is a very intensive follow-up of the female nomination, how it's going and how it's taking. And we take into consideration this, we call it working hiatus. This is like the baby is born and this 1 year or half a year is taken out from the professional career. This is probably a hard bit to carry on with and to do it properly. Next one, please. And if it comes to the educational awards, very similar activity and strategy is carried on. The election is open for everybody for application. There is encouragement to female nomination. And there is a two-step process to reflect diversity. It is reviewed after the first deadline, and if it's not properly reflected, then we extend the deadline and we run another circle to allow people to reflect this diversity. Next one, please. We were very happy to collaborate in this publication, this Leading Women in Respiratory Medicine. We fully appreciate all the effort put into this publication. I think it's a landmark publication for everybody being a female on the field. It's worth it to read, worth it to spread, and worth it to work more on it to, to generate probably an even better figure later on. Next one, please. And we do have a gender equity section, how we call it, at the Congress. It was started a bit more than 6 years ago in Madrid. It's an interactive platform. It's co-produced by ERS leaders and the early career members. We invite different societies and specialties, and around 150 participants take part. So we think it's a successful movement inside the ERS main Congress, and we have many in there. We can't do it, obviously, without them. We really have to strengthen this collaboration with them to come to equal platform. And next one, please. And we are very close to the end. If I wanted to say, there are, of course, challenges. It's a 10-year progress when we notion very actively that we have to do something. The changes are stepwise, I would say. You have to be there with a constant effort to make sure that you are reaching what you aimed for a few years ago. Very important to start when there are early career members coming to the field, because probably that what we do in the society level is not all the same in their country, not all the same in their work slot, and it's very hard to have a meaningful impact through societies towards to the working spots as well. And we have role models, of course, we give visibility to women, and we try to acknowledge, to recognize and remove barriers, stopping or blocking us to reach where we are heading for. So we really want to have wind, give wind under the wings. We have a saying in Hungarian, just get enough wind for the wings, and then the early career members will learn how to fly. Next one, please. Which is really the difficulties. One more slide about that. Next one, it's a bit formulated in a different way. When I asked people around, they had, yes, it's a struggle to get young people or get good female candidates for the scientific awards. So that spot is harder than many other. And of course, the promotion and promoting women's, somehow we see that sometimes it's difficult to have a real impact of that. However, these difficulties only for us to know them, to deal with them, and to make a next firm step towards a better future for all of us. So with that, thank you very much. Yeah, the next slide was very proper. I stop here and thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much. So we're gonna go ahead and move to the next speaker and move the continent to Africa now. Lifolier Masekala is a dean and head of School of Medicine at University of KwaZulu-Natal and associate professor of pediatric pulmonary. She is a global leader on asthma, equitable access to respiratory care, and lung health in African settings. She's a co-director of PAC's MECOR program, which is going to be included in the ATS presentation later. She's also a co-chair of the Global Asthma Network, and she is the immediate past president of PATS, and then she'll be giving a presentation of women's engagement in PATS. Lifilier.
Thank you very much, Karu. Really, I'd like to congratulate the ATS for bringing all these strong women leaders together. And I think this is a topic that's really very close to my heart, and I think close to the heart of the Pan-African Thoracic Society. Thank you. Next slide, please. So I think just for those who are not aware of PATS, really our mission is to promote lung health through Africa, and with a number of pillars, which are education, research, and advocacy. And as I think you'll see when I talk through the slides, that we've tried to be as close as possible to getting gender parity between these various pillars, and to really have not only impact at the Pan-African level, but also make regional impact, and try to ensure that this is also, the diversity is also palatable at the regional level as well. Next slide, please. Now, if you look at our, in terms of gender distribution of our society, we have slightly more males than females, but also we have an uncaptured proportion of members who don't state their gender, which I think is fair enough. But you'll note that about 40% of our membership is actually female. But in terms of the professional leadership, a lot of the members that are actually part of our society are actually at various higher senior level positions, which includes professors, directors, and senior consultants in the field. So although we may be smaller in quantity, there's quite a strong focus in terms of leadership, and this is probably because there's quite a lot of intentionality in the kind of programs and opportunities that we provide for our members. In terms of early career members, they make almost a fifth of our membership, and this is early career members. So we're slowly also getting that number increased slowly through the society, because these are our future leaders, and we're also quite intentional in trying to support the female leaders as well. Next slide, please. So, as I've said, we have a number of pillars that we use in terms of support for our female leaders. One of these is the ATS MECO program, and the Africa MECO program has now been running for a number of years, over 20 years, and this is one of the flagship programs of our society that was started by Sonia Bust. And through the MECO program, we have a strong representation in terms of faculty. Our two co-directors are actually female, and if you look at the distribution of our leadership, actually we are overrepresented with 57% of the faculty being female through the MECO course. And this has been really through a very proactive recruitment strategy. About 15 years ago, the membership of faculty was less than 20%, so it's been a clear recruitment drive, and I think having two female leaders has really assisted in us directing and really redressing the balance, and we've probably overshot somewhat to get more female faculty in our program. But one of the important areas, of course, is what is in our pipeline in terms of these trainees who are then our future faculty. And there's been consistent increasing participation for female trainees. And I think if you go on to the next slide, please. You will see in this paper that was written really reviewing the course a number of years ago, we only had about a third of females completing the PATS MECO course. And it's really through the very intentional strategy that we took that we now have increased the proportion of females that are completing the course. And I will also share a leadership training course that we've also started that is housed in taking people who've actually completed the PATS MECO course. Next slide, please. In terms of our governance, I think we have had a number of presidents of the society. Our first actually inaugural president was Professor Heather, now over 23 years ago. And I was president until last year, and our current president is also female. So I think in terms of governance, we are also doing fairly well there. Next slide, please. Now, if we look at our executive committee, this is also not by accident. Currently, our numbers in terms of our Pan-African Thoracic Exco, we have 52% representation, females versus males, which is, and also we also are quite intentional about having regional representation, and we are doing fairly well with that. And through our other flagship programs that we run through the society, we have a lung function working group, which is led by 2 females. Our strong spirometry training program is also led by females. It's all female led. And also we have started through the support of Sonia Boost, a women leadership program, which is actually currently running in its 2nd year, where we take a cohort of 5 strong female leaders that we mentor, coach, and support through a year-long training program. And we are in our 2nd cohort this year. And this has been a really fantastic program. And the feedback from the trainees has been really, truly amazing, really supporting sort of mid-level career women to support them to get to that higher level through this mentorship and training leadership course. Next slide, please. Next slide. So, of course, we've had successes, and of course, there are still challenges in terms of supporting females, especially those who are trying to get into research careers. Working in Africa, there's very little protected research time, multiple challenges in terms of funding constraints. And of course, one thing is really ensuring that we have a strong leadership pipeline, and that people are able to jump through some of the institutional barriers which prevent them from getting up to the next level in terms of their career trajectories. So these are challenges that we constantly trying to find solutions for. But of course, we have other initiatives that we've taken on. We have a very strong a formal mentorship and training pathway through the leadership program, but also trying to strengthen that so that we can reach more people through the ATS PATS MECO program. We have improved our demographic data tracking so that we can follow equity and diversity of our society. And I think thinking also of ways to expand what we currently have with the leadership program and finding ways to actually massify this so we can reach more people and support them. So we have a strong pipeline of mentors, mentees, as well as leaders through the Pan-African Thoracic Society. And with that, I'll say thank you, and I hope I've kept on time.
Perfect. Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next speaker in the interest of time. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ko. She is a division head of respiratory medicine clinical services at the Prince of Wales Hospital in Hong Kong, and an honorary clinical professor at the China University at Hong Kong, and she is currently the Central Congress Committee Chair and Executive Committee member of the Asian Pacific Society of Respiratory and the Senior Editor of Respirology. So please go ahead, Dr. Ko.
Thank you. Thank you for the very kind introduction, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So thank you very much for having Asia Pacific Society of Respirology to join this WINGS webinar. So next slide, please. So our society, the objective are to advance and promote knowledge of respiratory system in health and diseases, and also encourage research, promote clinical practice, and many others. And in fact, we do not only include respirologists from the Asian Pacific region, but also beyond that. Next slide, please. And then here are our members. In fact, the APSR, we have over 18,000 members. The members are from 12 en bloc societies. On the left-hand side, you can see the list of the en bloc societies. And we have 52 regions and countries who have, there are members of the APSR. And you can see those on the right, the list. And then for the map below, the green area that we marked where majority of our members are coming from. And because for APSR, we do not collect the gender information from our members. That's why we cannot provide with the statistics here. Next slide, please. And then regarding the presidents of the APSR, in fact, APSR first started in 1986, and we have altogether 17 presidents so far, and among them, 17.6% are female presidents. Next slide, please. And then Congress presidents are also very important for us because every year, starting from 1988, we have yearly congresses of APSR. And then and the female Congress presidents makes up of 20%, 21.2%. Next. And then here are our assemblies. We have a total of 16 assemblies, each with a head elect, and a deputy head. And among them, among all these 48 members, 30% of them are female. Next. And for APSR, we also have the diversity and inclusion policy in place, and is in our website also. Next. And then APSR commits to gender-neutral terms. For example, in the policy, we use chairperson instead of chairman in communications. And also we work with different assemblies, task force, work groups to ensure that the APSR activities acknowledge the need for and implement balance and diversity, such as not just for gender diversity, but also the stage of career, the experience, the race, ethnicity, language, culture, country of origin in the leadership. So, so we have the policy in place. Next slide. And in promoting diversity and inclusivity, in fact, the respirology has published a series of leading women in respiratory medicine, and Professor Smallwood and I gathered many representatives for the leading women in respiratory medicine in our region, including from Australia, India, Indonesia, Japan, Korea, mainland China, Hong Kong, New Zealand, and Singapore. And we have a series of letters to the journal. And then this give us a more understanding of the challenges women face in respiratory medicine across the different countries in the Asia Pacific area. And many of them, they have some common themes and challenges. Next slide. And in addition, for the Congress, for the annual Congress, starting from 2024, when we have the APSR Congress in Hong Kong, we have this Diversity and Inclusion Symposium, and we have speakers. In fact, Irina is also one of our speakers in that year. And then on this a symposium on diversity and inclusion. Next slide. And then last year in this year in 2025, the Congress, this diversity and inclusion symposium continues with the theme of solidarity with women in respirology. And you can see the information in the poster on the left-hand side. Next. And we do plan to continue this in subsequent congresses. So for ongoing challenges and future initiatives, for ongoing challenges, we noted that across the Asian Pacific region, the challenges are primarily stemming from a combination of societal gender stereotypes and also systemic organization biases. And for our future initiatives, we hope that we can do more. And then in the article that concludes the leading woman in respiratory medicine in the Asia Pacific series, in fact, we advocate that we have more women representation on the APSR board and also respirology editorial board. In fact, I see that recently when respirology, they call for regional advisors from the en bloc societies, they ask for 1 male and 1 female advisors for the journal, which is very good. In addition, we hope that the APSR and the respirology committees or working groups, they can have a more balanced gender, discipline, and career stage representation. And also for the future conferences and the Congress panels, chairs, keynote speakers, etc., we can have a more balanced representation from various tiers. And also, we currently do not have a diversity, equity, and inclusivity committee within the APSR, and perhaps in the future we can develop that. And also, we have already started a Women Respiratory Health Symposium at every APSR Congress, and we hope that we can continue with that. And with that, I thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ko. So we're gonna go straight to the next speaker, changing a continent to South America. Dr. Rowena Noriega is a specialist in internal medicine and pulmonology. And she is a co-founder of CEDAR Panama, leading the programs focused on interstitial and obstructive lung diseases. She is a vice president and the president-elect of ALAT, and she'll be talking about the women's engagement in her society. Rowena.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for the introduction and for the opportunity to participate in this project. I am Lorena Noriega, an adult pulmonologist in Panama City, current vice president of ALAT, and I will be the 4th woman president in ALAT's 30-year history. Next slide. The first was Dr. Carmen Lisboa from Chile. She was founding member of ALAT and president in 1998. The second was Dr. Maria Victorina Lopez from Uruguay. She was president of ALAT in 2010. And the third was Dr. Maria Montes de Oca from Venezuela. She was president of ALAT in 2012 to 2014. This was just the period that when I started working with ALAT. Next. ALAT is a society of independent professionals in respiratory medicine, but we work in collaboration with the national societies of the 20 countries of the Americas represented in this map, from Mexico in North America to Chile in South America. Next. At the moment, 44% of active members are women. We have 3,000 members. Next. And when we look the participation rate in administrative position within the society, we see that 45% correspond to women, and this includes executive committee, director of department, and some other committee. At ALAT, we have no restrictions on members applying for administrative position. All members are equally welcome to participate. Next slide. If we look at the medical society of different countries, at the moment, 42% of the presidents of respiratory societies are women. Next slide. We see something different in the area of the healthcare. According to World Health Organization data, the women represent 72.8% of healthcare staff, but less than 30% hold management or leadership position. Next, please. About social program for women in Latin America, well, we don't have much in Latin America at the moment. Next slide. At the level of the national societies, most do not have a structured program. Only the Brazilian society has created recognition program for women since 2024. ALAT don't have a structured program. We have only one initiative called Women Forums at the conference. The first one, next slide, please, was in Chile at the 2024 conference, and it was a space to share experience. And we noticed is that there are different realities in different countries of the Americas region. Next slide. The second one was in Cancun, Mexico during the 2025 conference, and this one was focused on creating joint academic and research projects. Next slide, please. And we are currently preparing the program for our coming conference in July in Cartagena, Colombia. Next slides. About current challenges, where we have a lot of challenges. Next, please. One, we have low representation in leadership position at the care level, which results in a fictitious leadership gap. Second, wage inequality in some countries. This is according to external data from the World Health Organization. We don't have this data for respiratory medicine. Three, we have inequality in professional recognition with less participation in awards or recognition. A specific award for women has not yet been considered within ALAT. And four, lack of formal mentoring program for women. Really, mentoring exists, but as a personal initiative by mentors and partners, but not as an official program. This is a real challenge to do it at a continental level. Next, please. About the future initiative, well, we are currently writing the ALAT strategic plans for the next 5 years, and here are some ideas. Include explicit gender equality policies in the bylaws. 2, clear goal for representation in management position. 3, structure a program that provides tools for exercising leaderships in respiratory medicine, because we think that many women don't participate because they don't know or they don't feel safe to do so. 4, regional mentoring program is possible. 5, academic visibility at conference, one-to-one, male to female. It is possible because in Latin America, we have highly capable professional women, but they are not always interested to participating in conference like a speaker, for example. 6, awards recognitions to clinical and academic career for women. Next. I have worked a lot for over 10 years, and I have never felt discrimination within the association. It is truly an open society for all professionals who have the interest, knowledge, and availability to work, regardless of gender, race, or age. But of course, there is always room for improvement. Thank you very much.
I forgot to take, okay. Thank you, Lorena. So our last speaker is from ATS. So Irina Petrake is the Chief of Pulmonary Critical Care Sleep Medicine at National Jewish Health. She is also Associate Vice President of Faculty Development. She is a physician scientist and leader in pulmonary research, and her work focuses on COPD and lung injury. She is the immediate past president. We saw her a lot at ATS 2025, but she's a past immediate past president of ATS, and then she will be talking about ATS perspective. Just before I let Irina talk, we will be taking questions after Irina's talk. So if you wanted to type into the Q&A, hopefully we have a little bit of time. We might go over a little bit, but if you have some questions, comments, be free to start typing on the Q&A, please. Irina?
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to present our both statistics as well as challenges and approaches at ATS. I wanted to also thank Christina Braz for helping me put this presentation together. Next slide, please. So just like my colleagues have mentioned before, we have seen an increased participation of women, both at the membership level on the left, as well as the international conference participation on the right, approaching 50%, but we're not quite there yet. Next slide, please. In terms of our most efforts have been put into increasing gender participation at the leadership level to allow set the example and also encourage and have role models so that the younger generation can follow in our footsteps. And you can see here that our current board of directors is a vast majority female represented. Next slide, please. Also, the ATS committees and ATS council, which are two of our structural leadership aspects of the ATS, are vastly, women are represented in the majority in orange color on both sides. Next slide, please. However, at the president level, we could do much better, just as we've seen from, again, ERS and in Latin America, etc. Females are only, for ATS, 10% of the presidents, but we have made great strides in the past decade. The vast majority of the 11 female presidents have come from the past couple of decades. Next slide, please. How do we approach women representation in ATS, and how were we able to achieve such a success in the past 10 to 20 years? Has been through policies and the organizational commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion has been steadfast, and it's set at every stage in our organization, from committees to having presentations and programming at the international conference. Consider this diversity has been a must. Mentorship and career development structures have also been set in place, in motion, and have been successful in creating a pipeline of leaders, and making sure that our nominating committee and the awards committee is very diverse, so that they can also be mindful and have an intentional approach to selecting awardees and recognizing talent in female members has been crucial. Next slide, please. The International Conference has been a platform for advancing this mission, and the Women's Forum has been an outstanding approach to not only bring women together and form networks and showcase successes, but also inspire global leaders and global members to do the same with their international conferences. And it's been also a platform to celebrate successes in science, career, and also the showcasing how women's career may not have to be linear to be successful. They can take turns and they can overcome obstacles. And that is in a way to normalize this for our future generations and make these careers less intimidating. Next slide, please. So our commitment to global leadership is also showcased through how our female leaders, and here is Sonia Risk, who has been an ATS president in the past. Through her generosity, she's committed to advancing global leadership for women. Next slide, please. And she has been, next slide, please. She has been instrumental in creating a new formal women's leadership training in Africa. And here are our 2024 5 women from 5 countries who went through this formal leadership training. We are very excited about this pathway and hope to inspire this in other areas of the world. Next slide, please. So these are challenges that are common to what was said before. There's also this invisible labor and service burden that is not celebrated, and women tend to take on these extra tasks that are crucial for advancement of initiatives and organizations, but they are creating a time burden as well as emotional burden sometimes that can set women back. And we need to find a way to recognize it and advance women based on this invisible labor as well. Next slide, please. These are some of our opportunities that we want to keep taking advantage of. I talked about increasing visibility, celebrating success. It's very important to create transparency and accountability in our society and home institutions so that there is a clear path to success for everyone. And we are again committed to work with all of you sisters to globally advance women in science, in clinical medicine and education, and inspire the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Irina. So maybe we can stop share the screen, and then we're going to move on to the panel discussion here. We have some time left for that too. So Samia, do you want to start from this?
Yeah, so I'll start with a question, and then we'll open it up for other questions from the audience. So the first question is, what are the possible opportunities or projects that the societies can collaborate on to reach the goal of wings? And anyone can start.
Or do you want me to pick somebody first, or
well, since Erlina was the last to present, Erlina, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Sure. I think that we can do many projects together. As you could see, there are so many commonalities in the challenges that we have and approaches that we have. So we started here with sharing them and realizing what we have in common. I think an easy pathway would be to utilize our international conferences and network of women leaders to showcase maybe career paths and stories. Most people are excited to hear how different women from different backgrounds have made it. And I think this is inspiring for the younger generation, as I mentioned. I think a common project would be to also look into how to promote women in science, like what are some of the barriers there, and international collaborations and increasing access to international sort of networks of research projects and bringing women in those. That could be another kind of seed for future collaborations that could solve a global respiratory health problem or aspect. And we saw that with FIRST, for example, in the lung health initiatives, that that will be good example as to how to work on an international project together with societies together. So following the footsteps of that project, we could think about, brainstorm how to bring women together around a common global respiratory theme.
Thank you, Irina. Ophelia?
Thanks. I think just taking on from Arena's discussion, I think there's real strength in working together. And I think as the world is becoming more and more polarized, I think if we put our resources together, we can really strengthen, I think, what we would like to do. If we look at all the pillars across all the society, we have multiple areas of commonality. And for example, we could work together not only on sharing resources, we could develop tools, we could even provide people opportunities to network around, for example, looking at starting global leadership programs, in harnessing research opportunities. I think there's so much that we could be able to achieve as a collaborative global group, and that will also give us lots of strength. And of course, if we want to do any kind of fundraising and raising money to support specific projects, we have more strength as a global unit rather than individual organizations to actually make things work. So I think this is a really fantastic opportunity and an opportune moment where we can really try to see how best to support women's leaders, not only at a regional or society level, but more at a global level, which is a real strength and an opportunity that we should try to take.
Thank you. Ildiko, you have your hands up too.
Yeah, thank you very much. On those lines, what was already mentioned, to us, when it comes to research and science, it's very easy to pick male names that, oh, I heard that and that publications. So if we probably can do something to support us to know about each other's projects and research findings and so on, that would be something, then it makes it easier later on to think about certain people. I know it's probably strange because we organize ourselves around asthma and COPD topic-wise. We know pretty well the colleagues, but seeing the mainly male-related behaviors, how much they put forward themselves with little results and talk about it, this type of coffee talk-based structure, or somehow to have more knowledge for ourselves about what we are doing around the world, that probably could make a strengthening step very easily, because then next time, if you put forward a research application, you probably can very easily name 1, 2, 3 more female colleagues working on a similar places and similar ideas. I know it's not very friendly in a manner towards our male colleagues, but something what is a beer discussion many times, when many times these are the male colleagues who are going out. At least that's what I gather from my experience. When it's, the childs are around at home, you gone home quickly to take care of them instead of hanging together with male colleagues and the other colleagues. So we could probably do a bit of amendments there. Thank you for the attention.
Great idea. Lorena or Fanny, do you wanted to make some comments from your society's perspective?
Yes, what I could see is that our society have different realities. Maybe in our area, the mentorships could be the important in research. Is it possible with mentors of the other societies? Maybe will be good.
Okay. Fanny, do you want
Yes. For the Asia Pacific Society of Respirology, in fact, we covered quite a huge area, and then there's a lot of difference in culture and around our country, so different countries. So I think it would be very nice that if the societies can work together, and because we have common themes and our aim is for education, clinical service, research, and then all these I think can benefit women members of our society, and then hopefully we can collaborate, and then sometimes if our society to start off with the work, it may not be that easy, but if we rub it together and then the global trend, and then we can all work together on it, and then I think that can help with the advancement of diversity and inclusion in all of us, for all of us.
So
Thank
you,
oh,
everyone.
sorry,
Sorry,
go
Cal.
ahead.
There is a very good question. I mean, there are some questions in the chat, but one of them is actually continuation of this question, and that's from Juliana Ferrara from Brazil. And she's saying that in her experience, a major barrier for women in medicine is that many early career women think they are not prepared enough for a leadership position. So while men can just jump in and do whatever, even though they will be at the same level. So how can our societies address this barrier in leadership position? And that I've seen that a lot in my career as well, is that women are very hesitant to put themselves out there, but then men are very willing to do it. So is there any way to address that?
Anyone?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You're muted.
Quite a lot about teaching this. So there is well acknowledged, there are a lot of psychologists working on that. And these traits, there are some cognitive parts that we can offer. We can put together a webinar or something to teach that, how to handle. So how to make young colleagues, young female colleagues aware of that fact, and how to handle that, and how to move forward, which is still authentic. Thank you.
Anybody else wanted to comment on that? Samia, do you want to?
Yeah, there is another question.
Yeah.
That she think is it a good idea to conduct a short survey within our scientific societies to identify the number and career stage of women researcher? Do you guys think it's a good idea?
I think she's getting to the fact that we have numbers for the general, numbers of male and female, but we don't maybe have where are they in the different stage, because your assumption is in a higher level, maybe they're not, or which stage they're at. So Katina, thank you for your comments. She has a lot of different other important comments too, that the survey was one of it. And then she's also has a suggestion about some seminar summer school. It's in line with what we were talking about, to collaborate together to prepare the younger female scientists for the leadership. So summer schools, and then also leverage, it was mentioned earlier, but leverage you guys are leaders' experience for the future leaders. So Irina, you have your hands up.
I wanted to emphasize that we do have a rich resource in past leaders. So our current president, Ryan Wake, has actually had the initiative to organize the past ATS presidents into a group. And most of these people are now at the senior level, and they have, in a way, paved the way for the new generation to take on leadership at ATS, but they themselves are less involved in sort of the nitty-gritty workings of the organization, yet they have such an amazing amount of experience, expertise, leadership skills, and they could give back. Many of them, I'm learning, are actually becoming academic coaches or executive coaches, which 20 years ago, I didn't know what that was, but there's actually a certification for these individuals who now become coaches in how and guiding the younger generation how to build the leadership skills. So we could tap into this amazing resource for this purpose as well, focused on women leadership.
Great idea. Any other thoughts on that comment? Also, Katina's mentioning about leveraging the female leaders' experiences, and I think that's the sort of like leveraging the experience of the past president and past female leadership into the coaching or into the mentorship program that we hope to have. That will be one of the ways that we can work together. We are a little bit past the time. Okay, so there's another. Yeah, so there's another comment about the female fellows in pulmonary critical cares. It's still about 30%. It's pretty low. And do you think WINCS could also help promote female involvement in the field itself from early career, early support and encouragement? Anybody want to comment on that? I think it's talking about try to get female into the field more as well, because we may not have representation to for the folks to come into the field itself too.
I think I'm probably not the best person because it's pediatrics. We attract more females.
Yeah, have more
But
females. Yeah.
I think one of the biggest challenges is also around workload, and it's seemingly very attractive. For example, we find it very difficult to attract people to critical care, for example, just purely from a family and responsibility role. So I think we as leaders also need to think strategically of how to get these people and retain them, and think about how we in our spaces can change, work hours, workloads, and how to facilitate to get trainees into programs. Because unless we do that, we're not going to get the kind of change the faces of some of these specialities. So, and once people see that there is a supportive environment and that there is some kind of reasonable work-life balance, it becomes difficult to attract people into our speciality. So I think we maybe as a community need to think strategically about how we can influence programs to retain and also attract new people. And Gen Zs are not interested in working 50, 60 hours a day. They want to have a good work-life balance, and we need to start thinking now of how we can change or improve how people work in these environments to actually attract people to our speciality. Because unless we do that, we're going to suffer even more in the next few years.
Good point. Anybody else wanted to make some final? We're going a little bit past, so we're gonna maybe try to wrap up here. Anybody want to make a final comment, the panelist?
I'm happy to start with, from my part, trust yourself and give a chance to yourself and go for it. So if our audience is any young ones, please do so. And if it's later in the career, it's the same applies. And we can support that as societies.
Anyone want to go next? Final words? Maybe Fanny, do you want to go next? Any final words?
I just encourage every one of us to put ourselves forward, be confident, and then seize the opportunities.
Ophelia?
And I can also say that
sorry.
it's really it takes a village, and this having this sisterhood and the connections will empower us. And so reach out to us or to your mentors or to leaders. I think most people are willing to help, and this will bring us power and confidence in doing everything.
Any Olivier or Rowena want to make some final comments?
Well, just to say thank you, Karu, and I think this is our first giant step and a great opportunity for us to work together. And I think we've taken that step with these kind of programs. And I think if we build on our mentorship network and provide younger people with the opportunities and the mentorship, we will probably succeed through all of our societies to build capacity and get that 50-50 split just right.
Lorena, do you want to make a
Yes, not only thank you for the opportunity, because this is very interesting to share with other ideas, the other part of the world, because every country have different realities, and we have a lot of job, a lot of work to do in Latin America.
Great. Thank you, all. Thank you, panelists. Samia, do you have some
Yeah,
final
so I
comments?
just want to finish it. I mean, it's the whole initiative. When Cal came with the idea last year, I wasn't sure of how it will be received and how it will work, but it seems like nobody is really saying no. Like when we approached you and your societies to come forward and present, you guys did not hold back. You came in, you presented, and that in itself, as for the wings, we're trying to attract younger people. So I think that's encouraging to them to see that how everybody is willing to work, and how that will encourage people as well. We have lots of ideas to keep going with this, to help encourage more people to participate, especially young people. And Kahel, I have a great idea for you. I'll talk to you about it after we finish.
We have a lot of great ideas,
I am
actually.
telling you, yes, yes. As you guys were talking, I'm like, wait, we can do more. So, and I think that in itself, it really will encourage younger people to just come forward and reach out to us too, and talk to us, and try to get their career going.
Thank you. We went a little bit long, and those who stay, thank you so much. And we also gonna have a session on ATS 2026, as I mentioned. So hope to see you there. And this is just a start, and we'll be in touch for the upcoming Wings initiative. So thank you for your attention, and we will finish our webinar. Thank you so much.